It's no secret that the biceps are the beach muscle that every guy wants to build. But proper biceps training isn't as simple as banging out a few sets of curls. Although you may experience some results from focusing on heavy compound movements and adding a few sets of dumbbell curls at the end of your workout, you will eventually have to take a more strategic approach in order to continue seeing growth. The reason is that, as you become more advanced, your biceps may require a different stimulus, particularly due to their more complex anatomy and biomechanics. And in order to train the biceps most optimally, it's critical that you understand what muscles are involved and what functions they're responsible for. So before we jump into the 7 best biceps exercises for building bigger arms, let's quickly go over the basic anatomy. The biceps are a muscle group located in the upper arm and, as the name suggests, divided into 2 heads. A short head located on the inside of the arm closer to the body, and a long head which sits on the outside of the arm further away from the body. Both heads originate on the scapula, and both heads converge to insert into the forearm. Often overlooked when talking about arm anatomy is a muscle known as the brachialis. The brachialis is vital when it comes to thickness from the front and is normally extremely well developed and visible on most professional bodybuilders. The brachialis sits just lateral to the biceps, between them and the triceps. Now that you know what muscles you're looking to target, what exactly do they do? The main function of the biceps is elbow flexion, essentially bringing your lower arm towards your shoulder. As both heads attach to the scapula, there's also an element of shoulder flexion, particularly from the long head of the biceps. The short head also aids in supination, rotation of the forearm and hand to turn your palm upward. However, when it comes to elbow flexion, believe it or not, this is where the brachialis really comes into play. The brachialis is the strongest of all elbow flexors. This functional anatomy is vital when it comes to knowing how to train your biceps and brachialis effectively. Now that you understand the anatomy and biomechanics, I'm going to give you the 7 best biceps exercises for bigger arms. Exercise number 1. Barbell curl. Similar to a barbell bench press versus a dumbbell press, it's going to be much easier to load the barbell variation than the dumbbell version. For example, imagine trying to progressively overload with dumbbells. Your only option might be to go from 25 pounds to 30 pounds, but that's a 20% increase in weight for each arm. With a barbell curl, however, you could simply go from 65 pounds to 70 pounds, a less than 4% increase. For most gyms, it's more likely to have smaller increments in weight with plates than it is with dumbbells. In fact, if you have micro plates, this progression could be even more gradual. This is why I recommend you make the barbell curl the focal point of your biceps training and then move on to higher rep biceps exercises afterwards within a workout. Exercise number 2. Supinating dumbbell curl. Unlike the barbell, the dumbbell allows a freer range of motion. Besides allowing a more natural, comfortable movement, it also allows more variation with how you curl. My favorite way is to curl the dumbbell and then supinate or twist outwards, almost as if you're trying to touch your pinkies to your shoulders. Studies show this allows greater muscle activation in the biceps. And if you feel your forearms give out, try curling with both arms at the same time rather than alternating. This would mean less time that an arm is just sitting at your sides while still taxing the grip strength. Exercise number 3. Hammer curl. The hammer curl is another dumbbell curl variation, but this one shifts the emphasis onto the brachialis. I consider this the staple movement for brachialis development, and honestly, the movement couldn't be any simpler. The major difference with this exercise is just a neutral wrist position. Remember, the brachialis is the most powerful elbow flexor, not the actual biceps, and the brachialis contributes to your biceps peak and arm thickness, so it's critical that you include a hammer curl into your biceps training. Exercise number 4. Pronated easy bar curl. A second movement that hits the brachialis is the reverse curl or pronated easy bar curl. This is like the hammer curl but requires your wrist to be pronated instead of neutral. Although this hits the brachialis, it's arguably even better for the brachioradialis, an important forearm muscle. If you did want to shift emphasis to the forearms even more, you could experiment with a thumbless grip and see if you feel more tension in the forearms. You likely won't be able to handle very heavy weight, so stick to lighter weights and higher rep ranges. Exercise number 5, incline dumbbell curl. Now that we've covered the staple biceps exercises as well as exercises to hit nearby muscles, let's talk about the main exercises to emphasize each head. The long head is especially stimulated when the arm is behind the back due to where it originates on the scapula. A great option is the incline dumbbell curl. Besides putting the arm behind the torso, it locks the elbow in place to maximize your form. Since the biceps are maximally stretched at the bottom of the incline dumbbell curl, you're supplying tension to the muscle in this stretched position. This enhances muscle damage on the biceps, which is one of the main mechanisms to stimulate hypertrophy. A common error I often see is people initiating the movement from the shoulder joint. The elbow has to start from a fully extended position while moving only the forearm for the initial part of the movement. It's only after this that the elbow can come forward slightly to fully contract the biceps. Keep in mind, both heads of the biceps will be active here due to the exercise focusing on elbow flexion, but the element of shoulder extension places the emphasis on the long head. Exercise number 6, Basian curl. As previously mentioned, the long head of the biceps are more active when the shoulder is extended. The Basian curl is essentially a unilateral cable curl where your shoulder is in an extended position. The best part about using a cable instead of a dumbbell is that the cable provides a more complete resistance curve and places the biceps under constant tension. Like the incline dumbbell curl, it's important to start from a fully extended elbow position and to allow your elbows to drift behind your body. Remember, the greater the degree of shoulder extension you're in, the more emphasis you place on the long head. Exercise number 7, preacher curl. Finally, let's emphasize the short head of the biceps. As you recall, this is the inner part of the biceps that's hit more when your arms are in front of your torso. One of the best options is the preacher curl. This exercise can be performed with either a barbell or dumbbells. Regardless of which variation you choose to perform, it's important to use a full range of motion, as several studies suggest it has significant benefits. One study, for example, compared men doing biceps curls with a full range of motion versus curling with a partial range of motion. Both groups got stronger and built muscle. However, the full range of motion group gained significantly more muscle and strength than the partial range of motion group. In other words, leave your ego at the door. So there you have it, the 7 best biceps exercises for bigger arms. Although I don't expect you to incorporate all of these into your program at once, I do recommend you cycle them in as needed to achieve maximum biceps development. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below, as it'll truly help out the channel. Also, if your training and nutrition are in order and you're looking for a bit of an edge, be sure to check out my science-based supplement line. Each product was created using scientifically proven ingredients, all clinically dosed and guaranteed to produce results. If you want to learn more, head over to musclemonsters.com/supplements or click the link in the description below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more videos and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Peace.